Honkai Star Rail is finally here, and the first characters event warp banner is also here, giving us a chance to get Seele, at least I think that's how you say it, in Phase 1. She's an insanely powerful single target hunt damage dealer, and is more than just that thanks to her passives. I'm loving the game so far, and as a massive turn-based game fan, I'm all for Honkai Star Rail. Plus, Seele is a character that's also in Honkai Impact 3rd, which I've been playing a bit on the side in the run-up to Star Rail's release, so it's extra cool seeing a character coming from the Honkai series in this. But do you know what else is extra cool? Hitting that like button to help support us and our content. It's a YouTube algorithm thing, so you don't have to, but it really does help us out. Thank you if you do. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but at least from Impact 3rd, Seele's actually an orphaned character who lost her parents at a young age. She also has two split personalities, one being very sweet and kind, and the other being more manipulative and dangerous. But I'm not sure if that carries over into this. Tell me in the comments down below. But you probably want to know all about her abilities and how she works in Honkai Star Rail. A quick disclaimer before that of course pull whoever you want if you like that character. While some characters may be stronger than others, you can make pretty much everyone work with the right team and strategy. When chasing a character, it's also dependent on your team composition, who you already have, your type coverage, and overall party structure, so do bear that in mind. Seele is a high impact burst DPS style character with tons of damage to single targets over a short period of time in the turn order. She focuses highly on crit, speed, and of course attack, making her quite the powerhouse if used correctly. Focusing well on single targets, she can also do more than that thanks to her passive Resurgence, which will trigger when defeating an enemy with a basic attack, skill, or ultimate, and gives her an extra turn and a 40% increased damage buff for one turn. So combining her with high speed, crit rate, crit damage, and attack, she can often hit twice and harder if timed well. If you're missing a primary damage dealer in your party, or don't like the way your current ones play or look, Seele is probably a great fit, and you should ideally be focusing on building her with attack, speed, crit rate, and crit damage, as well as quantum damage. She also has several ways to buff herself up, and when paired with another character that can buff, it'll be stacking on top of her own self buffs to make a super powerhouse damage dealer. Her technique out of combat is quite unique and helpful. It gives you stealth for 20 seconds, so enemies cannot detect you, and when you hit them from stealth in the overworld, she will enter battle in the buff state of the previously mentioned Resurgence passive that will then give her that 40% attack buff. Her skill is Sheathed Blade, and honestly I love the way this one looks. It actually gives her a speed buff of 25% for 2 turns and deals 110% of her attack as quantum damage to a single target. This is a great speed buff and something that you want to keep up all battle long, and it lasts 2 turns, which is quite nice. Her basic attack is Thwack, that does 50% of her attack as quantum damage to a single enemy, pretty standard, but her ultimate is so cool and one of the reasons to get her alone if you like the short cutscenes when doing the ultimates. Butterfly Flurry causes her to go into the buff state, which is great, and then also deals 255% of her attack as quantum damage to a single target. So it's a powerful, hard-hitting move, as well as a self-buff, and one of the cooler looking ones. It's personally one of my favorites so far. At higher ascension levels though, she actually gains several buffs to attack and crit damage, but also has a reduced chance to be targeted when low HP, speed buffs after doing basic attacks, and res pen when buffing herself. Her Eidolons, at least I think that's how you say it, will require duplicates of herself to be upgraded, but they do offer some pretty strong buffs too, particularly the 1, 2, and 6 buff, which gives her increased crit to low health enemies, lets her stack her speed buff from her skill, which is really good, and the final 6 buff gives her a big upgrade to her ultimate that is only really for the truly lucky or dedicated whales. You might be wondering what Lightcone to give her, and of course the current event banners in the Night 5-star one will be your top pick, as it grants her exactly what she needs. Crit rate, damage, basic attack damage, and skill damage, scaling off her bonuses to speed up to 6 stacks. Very impressive if you get lucky to pull it. But outside of this, I can recommend the 4-star one, Only Silence Remains, for increased attack crit rate, which will do nicely, or the 3-star Arrows or Darting Arrows for increased crit rate or speed, depending on what you want to go for. So do build with what you have, but do remember higher star rarity Lightcones will ultimately give you more core stats. So sometimes going for higher leveled, higher star rarity cones will be better better than lower rarity star cones with that super imposition. For Relics, the genius of the Brilliant Star set will grant bonus quantum damage and defense ignoring perks, which is perfect. But the Musketeers set is also great for getting more attack speed and basic attack damage. Ultimately, you will want Seele if you're in need of a primary single target damage dealer in your group, or if you just really like her as a character. But it is quite likely in future updates that she will get outclassed, as is normal in the release of games as stronger characters get released over time. We know that Phase 2 of the current event banner will give us Jing Yan. He's a great AoE multi-target battler, so these are two different options from each other depending on your current team composition. A good thing to know is that early and mid-game AoE characters are going to be super helpful for clearing content easily and quickly, but in the late game, the single target damage dealers will definitely shine more. However, maybe by then more stronger characters will have released, who knows, so there's definitely pros and cons for if you should go for Seele or Jing Yan. Another great thing to keep note of is the 4-star characters on Seele's banner. Personally, Natasha being on it is absolutely fantastic, as she's a great healer for any team comp. So getting her fully duped up with all of her passive bonuses will pay dividends throughout the rest of the game. Ultimately, if you're pulling for Seele, you'll likely get a ton of Natasha dupes, which is pretty cool and will make a good fit for your team most likely. So now you're caught up on Seele, please do share any tips or knowledge on this character that you have that I missed out down below. I'm still learning, playing and leveling, loving the game and really enjoying it. So let's learn together as a community, because more heads are better than one. But for now, I'm going to leave you guys with a battle so you can see Seele in all of her glory.
You outstage your welcome!
So you are afraid of me. Who's next? Let me end your misery. I'll free you from your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Let me end your misery.
Thank you for watching, and the 2 videos on screen now we think you'll really enjoy if you did enjoy this one. Of course, you don't have to watch them if you don't want to, but if you did enjoy this video, you're probably going to like these ones too. And then tell us what you think after watching in the comments down below.